The Galactic School on Station Zentari was the biggest school in this part of the galaxy. Students came from over 50 different planets. There were tall, insect-like Ulans, smart three-eyed Valari, and glowing energy beings from the Luma sector. Every species had its own rules, its own food, and its own problems. But one thing was always the same. The first day of school was exciting. This year, something different happened. The transport ship landed slowly in Docking Bay 6. The station, lights blinked. The security bot scanned the doors. A voice came through the speaker. Incoming Terran delegation. Some students looked confused. A few gasped. A Ulan whispered to his friend, Terrans? Humans? They're real? The large doors opened. With a loud hiss, 5 humans walked in. 2 adult instructors and 3 students, 2 boys and 1 girl. They were calm, quiet, but behind them came something else. 6 creatures walked beside them. Some were on leashes. Some moved without a sound. One looked like a giant cat with glowing yellow eyes. Another had long arms, 4 legs, and bone-like armor across its back. One looked almost friendly, fluffy, round, and wagging its tail, but it had teeth like daggers. Laughter filled the hall. A blue-skinned Valari shouted, Did they bring pets to school? Another voice joined in. What is this, a zoo? Even a teacher chuckled and said, Please make sure your companions don't cause trouble. The humans didn't laugh. They didn't speak. The girl, about 12 years old, gave a short command in a strange Earth language. The creatures stopped moving, all at once. Not one sound, not one breath. It was like a silent army had just frozen. The hallway became quiet. Then, it happened. The fluffy one, everyone thought it was harmless, jumped up to sit on a steel bench. The metal creaked, then cracked, then broke in half. The creature looked down. It tilted its head, confused, like it didn't understand what it had done. The laughing stopped. One of the Loom students stepped back, his glow flickering. A Zalari boy narrowed his eyes. It was just an accident, he said loudly. It's still just a pet. But the humans kept walking. The creatures followed silently, each one keeping its eyes on different parts of the room, as if scanning for danger. That night, the school's internal chat was full of messages. The humans brought monsters. I saw one lick a security panel and it opened. One of them stared at me and I felt cold inside. I think one whispered my name, but no one else heard it. In the cafeteria the next day, things got stranger. A Zalari student named Fenric walked past the human table. He was known for bullying weaker students. He sneered at the girl, pointed at her smallest pet, a black fox-like thing with silver eyes, and said loudly, Hey, Earth girl, your rodent dropped something. He kicked a small stone toward the creature. The black fox didn't growl, didn't move. It stared at Fenric, just stared. His laugh stopped halfway through. His hand shook a little. Whatever, Fenric mumbled, walking away faster than before. Later, that day, Fenric was missing from class. He wasn't found until midnight, curled up inside a cleaning robot's closet, mumbling to himself. The only thing he said clearly was, It smiled at me. It smiled, with too many teeth. Security checked the cameras. Nothing showed up. The hallway was empty, but in one frame, just one, a flash of silver eyes could be seen near the corner. No sound, no movement, just a flash. The next morning, the head teacher of Galactic School called the humans to her office. She was part Inari, a race known for high intelligence and strict order. She kept her voice calm, but her eyes were sharp. Your companions are causing fear among other students, she said. They're too big, too dangerous. Maybe they should stay in a secure area during classes. The human instructor, a tall man with gray hair, smiled politely. They are trained, he said. Very loyal. Trained how? She asked. He looked her in the eye. We don't teach them like animals. We speak to them, and they decide if they want to help. The teacher blinked. You mean they're intelligent? He nodded. More than we know. But they like us. That's enough. For now. Back in the dorms, The small black fox curled up on the girl's bed. It looked like it was sleeping, but its ears twitched every time someone walked by in the hallway. And when the lights went out, its silver eyes stayed open. Watching. Waiting. It could smell something. Fear. And it liked it. HFY sci-fi story. Simple English. Third-person style word. Spread fast across stations and Tari. Students whispered in the halls. Teachers watched the humans closely. Even security bots were updated with new scanning protocols. But none of it mattered, because the creatures didn't care, and the humans didn't explain. In Class 3B, students sat at their desks, staring at the human girl and her pet. The black fox lay under her chair, silent, its silver eyes half closed. A brave Valari student named Jix leaned over. "Hey, what is it?" he whispered. "That thing under your chair. Is it safe?" The girl smiled. Not a big smile, just enough to say she knew something he didn't. "His name is Ash," she said. "He only bites when he smells fear." Jix blinked. "That's a joke, right?" Ash opened one eye. Just one, and stared at Jix. He didn't speak again for the rest of the day. Later, during biology class, students were asked to bring samples of their homeworld creatures. Most brought data chips or pictures. The humans? They brought their pets to the lab. The teacher, a floating brain being named Dr. Vulax, frowned. "These are not ordinary life forms," he said, circling them carefully. "I sense adaptation, mutation, evolution under extreme pressure." One creature, a large gray beast with no eyes and 6 legs, let out a low hum. The classroom lights flickered. Dr. Vulax floated back quickly. "What is that one called?" The boy next to it answered, "We call her Whisper. She's from Sector 7B, underground zones. Born in full darkness. She doesn't see, she listens, and learns." The lights flickered again. "And what does it eat?" the teacher asked. The boy smiled. "Things that run." A nervous Yulan student raised a claw. "Are they even legal to bring here?" The human instructor spoke for the first time. "Every one of them passed biochecks. They are part of our Earth research program. You wanted to know what Earth was like, didn't you?" The class was silent. Then the fluffy-looking one, the one everyone thought was cute, barked once. Just once, every student jumped. One alien even fell off his chair. But the bark wasn't loud, it was wrong. Like a sound made in a place it shouldn't belong. Like something from a jungle that had never seen sunlight. One brave student, A.E. Loom Girl, stayed behind after class. She walked up to the human girl. "I've never seen animals like that," she said. "Where did you get them?" The girl looked at Ash, then back at the Loom Girl. "Earth," she said simply. "Our home, Deathworld Class 5. The Loom girl froze. Her body glow dimmed. "Class 5, she whispered. "That's almost unlivable." The human girl shrugged. "We live. So do they." That night, one of the school's janitor bots went offline. It was found the next morning, with deep claw marks through its titanium shell. Security reviewed the camera footage. Again, nothing showed up, except one black blur in the corner of the hallway. It moved too fast to follow, just 2 silver dots in the dark, like eyes. The school board met urgently. "Should we remove the humans?" One asked. "We can't," said another. "Earth is a council member, it would be seen as an insult." "Then remove the creatures. They're registered as student aids." "Aids? To what? War?" No one had answers. Back in the, dorm, the human boy was feeding Whisper. He placed a thick steel bar in front of her. She sniffed it, then slowly chewed it like soft bread. His roommate, a small bird-like creature named Neek, almost fainted. "You feed her metal?" he asked, trembling. The boy laughed softly. "She likes the taste, reminds her of home." That night, another incident occurred. A group of older alien students tried to corner the human kids in the recreation deck. "No more games," one of them said. "You're not better than us just because you brought your pets." The human girl looked calm. She gave a short whistle. Nothing happened for 3 seconds. Then shadows moved, every light on the deck flickered. Something unseen growled. Deep, ancient, the kind of sound that didn't belong in a school. When the lights came, back, the older students were gone. They were found 2 hours later, safe but shaken. Not hurt, but they wouldn't talk. All they said was, "We never want to hear that growl again." The next day, more students started avoiding the humans, but some didn't. Some were curious, some wanted to know, what kind of world creates creatures like these? And the more they asked, the more they feared the answer. HFY sci-fi story. Simple English. Third-person style lab. 9 was deep inside the school. No windows, thick walls. It was where dangerous tests were done. Chemicals, energy weapons, alien biology. Students only entered with a teacher. Today, the TY human students were invited for a co-learning session. At first, everything was calm. The human boy, Cade, walked in with Whisper by his side. The human girl, Liana, brought Ash. They were quiet, like always. Dr. Frall, a six-eyed insectoid, was leading the session. "Today," he clicked, "we test response times and reflexes. You may bring your assistants." The alien students nodded. Most had robot helpers. Liana raised her hand. "Ash can join?" Dr. Frall paused. "If it stays under control." Ash licked his lips slowly. The room went quiet. Then it started. 1. By 1, alien students tested their reflexes. Lights blinked fast, sounds played randomly, small projectiles launched toward their faces. Some dodged. Some screamed. When it was the humans' turn, the teacher smiled. "Let's see what Earth has taught its young." Cade stepped up. Before the machine could start, Whisper stood in front of him. "No," Cade said. "She goes first." The teacher laughed. "She? That thing?" A second later, the machine beeped and launched 3 small darts. Whisper didn't move, but all 3 darts fell, split in half mid-air. No one saw how. The slow-motion replay showed nothing, just a blur of movement and broken darts. Dr. Frall's voice clicked uncertainly. "Interesting. Reaction time under 0.01 seconds. Liana stepped up next with Ash. Ash didn't wait for the test. He walked to the machine and stared at it. Then, sat down. The machine powered off. "What happened?" a student asked. The teacher checked the control panel. It sensed a threat. "Auto shutdown protocol, level 5. Threat from a small animal?" "Not just a threat," Dr. Frall whispered. "A predator." Before anyone could respond, an alarm beeped. A soft, steady sound. Containment breach. Lab 9. Sector C students looked around, confused. That part of the lab held experimental creatures. Dangerous ones. The teacher ran to the control panel. Doors open? That's not possible." Suddenly, the walls hissed. From a dark corner, something crawled out. It was huge, spider-like, 3 glowing eyes, sharp legs that clicked on the metal floor. Students screamed. "That's from Velkar 9. Someone shouted, "It eats bone." Security bots moved in, too slow. The creature jumped onto the wall, then onto the ceiling. 1 alien fainted. The humans didn't move. Ash stood up slowly. Whisper stepped forward. The alien beast turned toward them. It let out a screech. Ash smiled. And then it happened. Ash jumped. The lights flickered. A loud crack echoed through the lab. No one saw what Ash did, but the next second the alien spider was on the floor, its 3 eyes frozen wide, not moving. Whisper walked over and placed 1 paw on its chest. A low growl came from her throat, one that made every student step back. Dr. Frall stood frozen. "This is not normal. These creatures are not animals. They're weapons." Cade spoke quietly. "We didn't bring them to scare anyone." Liana added, "We brought them so you'd understand where we come from." A brave alien girl whispered, "Your world must be terrifying." The humans didn't answer. They didn't have to, because in that silent lab, full of shaking students and 1 dead predator, everyone finally understood. Earth wasn't just another planet. It was a place where survival meant evolution, where Pets weren't soft and harmless. They were partners. They were protectors. They were warnings. HFY sci-fi story. Simple English. Third-person style. After the incident in Lab 9, everything changed at Station Zentari. Before, aliens laughed at the humans called their pets cute, weak. Now, no one laughed. They avoided Whisper in the halls, walked the long way around Ash. Some even switched classes. The fear was clear, but not spoken. Cade and Liana noticed it. So did their pets. But the fear wasn't just in students. Even the teachers became quiet. Extra cameras were added in human dorm areas. Guards patrolled nearby. Dr. Froll stopped his research. Whispers spread. Earth creatures can break steel. They can kill Velkar beasts. With one move, if those are pets, what are the humans? Liana sat alone at lunch. Ash sat beside her, calm as ever. His eyes scanned every movement in the room. Cade joined. Whisper sat near his feet, her tail swishing slowly. The room stayed silent. No one dared sit at their table. Then came Dean Jernak, the Dodd, head of the school. A tall, glowing being of the Nalari species. Wise, respected, and feared, he walked right to the human table. Everyone watched. Students, Jernak said slowly, you are requested in the High Council room. Cade and Liana looked at each other. They stood up. Whisper and Ash followed without a sound. High Council room. 15 minutes later. 12 alien leaders sat at the round table. Species from across the galaxy. Plentari, Volgar, Teiri, Nolari. All watching the humans. Dean Jernak spoke. There are concerns. You brought dangerous creatures into a peaceful learning environment. Liana replied calmly. We didn't know your definition of danger was so different. They killed a lab creature, another elder hissed. Cade leaned forward. That lab creature was loose. It almost killed 3 students. One elder stood. Your animals are trained to kill, that's a fact, Whisper growled. Quiet but cold. Ash didn't move, but every elder felt it. The tension rise. They are not animals, Cade said. They are part of our family. They defend us and they never strike first. Jernak narrowed his glowing eyes. If they are that dangerous, what else is Earth hiding? Cade didn't answer, but Liana did. Earth taught us to survive. Everything there wants to kill you. Even the air sometimes. We adapted. One elder whispered, so Earth raises monsters? Liana stared at him. No, Earth raises survivors. Later that night in the alien dorms, a group of senior students gathered. They're too dangerous. We should report them to Galactic Command, or handle it ourselves. One large alien, Kurok of the Varnak. Species growled, I'm not afraid of pets, I say we test them, make them leave. They nodded, planned, and set their trap. Back in the human dorm, Ash's ears twitched. Whisper stood up suddenly and looked at the door. Cade sat up. Something's wrong. Liana opened the window. Smoke, and the sound of footsteps. Ash growled, sound that made even the shadows feel afraid. Whisper bared her teeth. The hunt had begun. HFY sci-fi story. Third person, Suori simple English. It started with smoke in the vents. Then the lights in the human dorm began to flicker. Cade stood near the door, his fists tight. Liana grabbed her small backpack. Inside it, emergency gear, Ash. Sat by the window, calm. But his eyes glowed brighter than usual. Whisper growled. Something was coming. Outside, the hallway was silent. Too silent. Then, a crash. Metal hit the floor, boots running, heavy breathing, and a low mechanical hum. Cade opened the door slowly. 10 alien students stood outside. They wore battle suits. One carried a stun cannon. Another had a shock net. Leading them was Kurok, the Varnak brute. Come quietly, humans, Kurok growled. Your pets are banned. They're not allowed near the labs anymore. Or the students. Liana raised her eyebrow. You mean the pets who saved lives? They're threats, another student shouted. Galactic law says dangerous species must be removed. Cade stepped forward. You're not the law. Kurok smirked. We're fixing what the Council's too afraid to handle. He fired the net. It flew straight at Whisper, but Whisper didn't move. She simply stepped sideways, faster than the eye could follow. The net hit the wall and burned. Ash stood now, tall on 4 legs. His shadow looked bigger. Liana stepped beside him. You still think this is a good idea? She asked the aliens. Kurok roared. Attack! They charged. Big mistake. Ash moved first. He leapt like lightning straight into the group. His claws didn't cut, but they hit pressure points. Suits sparked, helmets shattered. Kurok swung his stun cannon. Whisper caught it in her mouth, snapped it in half. 2 aliens fired stun beams. Whisper spun. Both beams missed as she ducked, dashed, and slammed one alien against the wall. 3 seconds later, 5 attackers were on the ground, moaning. The rest turned to run. Ash blocked the exit. He didn't growl. He just stared. The Kaiku aliens dropped their weapons. Cade walked up to Kurok, who was gasping on one knee. We didn't come to fight, but you pushed too far. Kurok growled. You think you're better? Liana answered. No, we think we're prepared. Later that night, security bots arrived. The Council heard everything. The alien attackers were suspended, but rumors spread faster than truth. The humans attacked others. Their pets started it. Earth is dangerous. Cade and Liana sat in silence in the dorm. Whisper slept near the door. Ash watched the stars through the window. Liana finally spoke. They're afraid, not just of the pets, of us. Cade nodded. Good, because something worse is coming. She looked at him. You felt it too? He pointed to the stars. That signal we picked up last week, it wasn't noise, it was a warning. Something's heading toward this station. Ash growled low. Whisper stood up. The air grew cold. And just outside the station, a dark shape moved through space. Huge, silent, and not from Earth. HFY sci-fi story. Third person, simple English station. Centauri was quiet. Too quiet. Outside its metal walls, something huge drifted closer. No one knew what it was. No ID signal, no engine trail. Just a silent black shape, like a ghost ship. From Forgotten Wars. But Cade and Liana knew. That wasn't from Earth, and it wasn't friendly. In the council room, alarms screamed. Screens flashed red. Unknown object approaching, class unknown, speed increasing. One elder shouted, Why didn't our sensors detect it sooner? Another whispered, It's inside the outer defense grid, already here. Dean Jernak turned to the humans. Do you know what this is? Cade shook his head. No, but I think it heard us. Liana added, We received a strange signal last week. We didn't respond. Maybe. That was a mistake, Whisper growled. Ash's fur stood on edge. Suddenly, the lights went out. Total blackout. Then, the emergency lights blinked on. But something was already aboard. Section D7. Lower maintenance. Base security bots found twisted metal. Melted steel doors, no signs of explosions, just cuts. Like something sliced through with precision. One camera caught a glimpse. Not clearly. Just a dark figure with 4 arms. And eyes that glowed blue. Then static. Back in the council room. We are being boarded, said the AI voice. Everyone froze. By who? From where? No answers. Liana stood. We need to move. Now. Cade looked at the elders. Evacuate. Students. Lock down the upper levels. Jernak frowned. And what will you do? Hunt, Cade said. Hallway sector E4. The air was heavy. Cold. Ash walked ahead. Whisper moved low to the ground. Liana carried a plasma knife. Cade held a short-barrel shock rifle. Then, they saw it. Tall. Black armor. No face. Just those glowing blue eyes. It turned toward them. Fast, Cade fired. The beam hit it, but it didn't fall. Whisper charged. So did Ash. But this enemy was trained. It moved like a shadow. Silent and deadly, Ash tackled it, pushing it through a wall. Cade and Liana followed. Inside was a control room, dark, full of sparks and smoke. Ash and the creature fought hard. Whisper jumped from above, claws out. They finally pinned it. Cade aimed the rifle at its head. "Who sent you?" It laughed, a sound like metal grinding, then said in broken Galactic standard, "Not sent, came to test. Earth is rising." Liana froze. "What?" Galaxy laughed at Earth, it said. "Now, they will remember the fear." Its body suddenly exploded, self-destruct. They dove for cover. Later, in the council room, repairs began. Students were safe, but no one forgot the black figure. Or what it said. Jernak stood before the crowd. "We mocked Earth, mocked their pets, mocked their strength. But tonight, Earth's enemies came here. Not to fight them, but to study them." He looked at Cade and Liana. "We owe you our lives." Liana replied, "Just remember, our pets are protectors. But Earth has far more than just them." Cade added, "And if one of these things came here, more will follow." Whisper growled softly. Ash watched the stars. Far out in the galaxy, others were watching too. The galaxy had laughed at Earth for too long. Now, Earth was done playing nice. The game had changed. HFY sci-fi story. Third person, simple English. Months passed. The Galactic school was quiet again, but the humans, Cade, Liana, Ash, and Whisper, knew better. Strange signals kept coming from deep space. Strange ships appeared at the edges of the galaxy, but disappeared before anyone could track them. One night, Whisper's ears twitched. Ash growled low. "Something is watching," Cade said, looking at the stars. Liana checked the sensor. "Green, not just watching, preparing." Suddenly the comm crackled. A voice whispered, cold and distant, "You cannot hide. The real war has just begun." The screen went dark. Whisper's eyes glowed bright. Ash's claws dug into the floor. Cade stood tall. "Then we will be ready." Outside. The station. Shadows moved faster than light. The galaxy was no longer safe, and Earth was ready to fight.